As I said in the beginning, there is also Guru Bhakti. The Bhakti, the devotion to the teacher. I'm always a little shy to talk about it because I'm sitting here as a teacher. So this is no invitation for Guru Bhakti or anything like that. But it is still quite important. I mean, in my case, I'm just, in a way, the one-eyed king of the blind. No? But in India, you have people who have 3 eyes open, right? So they are really worthy of some devotion. And devotion will come very naturally if you meet them. Then you can't help it. You just fall in love with them. I mean, not like you would fall in love with a lady or a guy. It's very different. It's even very often much more strong. The divine shines through in these people so strongly. It comes out in every word, in every act, in whatever they do, so much that you can't help but, surrender to it. And for many people who have a problem with, surrendering to an abstract idea of God, the teacher is a very concrete form of God. And in yoga they will easily say, the teacher is God. And of course we are all God, so teacher is also God. And for those teachers it will be very clear that it is not the form that they are worshipping. It is not the body of the teacher that is to be worshipped. It is quite simply the teaching. It is the truth. It is the love that is inside that is to be worshipped, and not the teacher. Without the teaching, without the love, without the truth, the teacher is nothing. Nobody will love him if he would just be that body, in that history and that mind and that name and, this form. It is quite clearly that it is the formless quality inside this teacher which is love. But since it comes out so strongly, you just can't help it. And such people can give you such a good feeling without doing anything. This is also the best way to test any spiritual teacher. Some people ask questions, or they try to find out how this person lives and if he really is doing yoga and if he's eating meat or not, or things like that. But in fact all these things don't really matter. All these things you can't really use to evaluate whether a teacher really has got it. I mean, whether he's enlightened or not, as I said, it's a difficult discussion. But whether he is really having a close connection to the divine. The best way to do it is just sit near him. Depending, but, a little near him. And just watch yourself. If very easily you start feeling good and calm and quiet, or if you try a little meditation and you feel, very easily I'm going inside, then he really is worth something. Then he really has that. And then you will feel love for that. And you will want to stay with that person. And it will do you pain, it will make you cry to leave that person. And when you leave that person, you'll be maybe a few 100 meters away or something, 10 minutes away, and suddenly you will feel completely lost and like you've come under a bubble of love. You've come out of this bubble and suddenly you're back in the normal world again. This is the kind of people you can find there. And to have a love relationship with the teacher solves many problems. Solves many problems in the teaching. Because the teaching really is not so much about the words and the concepts and whatever the guy is telling you, right? This is not really what the teaching is about. The whole thing is about accepting what you are told. Believing what you are told. Setting aside your ego and just accepting it. That's the main purpose. That's the main job of the teacher. Like, let's say what we discussed yesterday morning. No? It was very simple, right? Very easy to understand intellectually. That we are all having this formless one inside and same in everyone. All these things. But to really accept it very difficult. That's also why this story is so often, when you find it in books, made very complicated. We make it complicated because we can't accept it. But the teacher can solve that for you. The love for the teacher can solve that for you. You love him so much that if he says that this is like this, you accept. You don't even need to know or understand it fully. That's almost blasphemy against our Western mind, right? What I'm not saying, now saying. But you know, it is like that, and it's actually also important that it is like that. And I have another little story about that, which is about myself and my teaching. I was living with him for some time. And in this family and in this area, you could say, of India, there is this tradition that nobody should shave or cut hairs or nails on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. This tradition exists. Now, I was finding this really a little bit too much because, you know, it's hot and you can't shave, so your beard starts itching, and I really wanted to shave. So I asked my teacher an explanation, you know, why this was, and I got this really vague story about the planets and things. I mean, it was just not acceptable. So I told him, you know, I don't understand it. And he said, wow, fantastic. Finally, I have found something which you can do only because I tell you, not because you understand why. So, okay, at that time I promised him I would not do it. And this must now be, I don't know, 20 years ago or more. And well, today I'm shaved because it's Sunday, but yesterday I was not shaved because it's Saturday. And I still don't know why. I still don't understand. But okay, I saw this then as a good exercise for my ego to do something because my teacher was telling me, not because I was understanding. But the true significance here is that there may very well be a good reason. I still don't know which one, but there may very well be a good reason. But maybe even my teacher did not know exactly the good reason. He just, you know, got it from his teacher. And there's not always the time to explain everything. You know, some teacher may have many students, many questions. You know, if you start going into details like that, you know, you have a million questions. So it's not always the time to explain. Sometimes the teacher just tells you, do it like that. Why? Shut up, do it like that. It's important, especially like when you go into yoga techniques and things like that. Why does the flame in Tratak, you know, in this concentration exercise on the flame have to be about 30 centimeters? Why is it not closer? Why is it not further? Who knows? I still don't know. But I know that I didn't listen, and I've put it further away because this was kind of suiting me in where my, you know, asana was, where my sitting place was, and where I wanted to put this candle so that nobody would, you know, walk over it. And I was trying, and never worked. I never could do it until I said, okay, let's try closer, and immediately it worked. So there's many things like that in teaching, which you just have to accept. And this love for the teacher makes it much more easy